Doktor Bununla kanalına hoş geldiniz arkadaşlar. Bugün Sherlock Holmes Suçlar ve Cezalar adlı 28. bölümüyle devam ediyoruz. Biraz fazla uzadı biliyorum ama en son hatırlarsanız bu bitkilerle ilgili bir şeyler yapmıştık. Bir deney falan yapmıştık. Oradan neyse olayı çözdük falan derken birkaç ipucu bulduk. Bay Merton hem de işin asılmış şekilde bulduk. Suç olarak onu biliyorduk. Şimdi buradan devam ediyoruz. Bu arada videoyu beğenmeyi unutmuyoruz. Bu neymiş? Hayat cehennem oldu benim için. Dayanılmaz oldu. Dün ölmeyi hak etti. Fakat ellerimdeki kanı için kendimi affedemem. Biz semidişlere daima başımıza gelen durumlarda kurban olurduk. Ben de kendimi farklı görmüyorum. Bunun telafi etmeliyim ve yapacağım. Şimdi ve burada elveda.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This and
a club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Garden.
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Şöyle yapalım. Bu çok karışık bir şey. Bunu böyle bir geçelim.
Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Bu şöyle diyeyim size. Şöyle bir şey oldu. İlk baş oğluyla konuştu. Bilmem ne anlattı falan derken Bayan White'ın yanına gitti. Orada konuştu. Oradan müdürün yanına geldi. Hem de işin yanına geldi falan derken oradan mekanizmayı açtı. O mekanizmada karıncalar da ona geldi. Spoiler'da o diken attı. O zehirlenmede olduğu zaman da böyle oldu. Bence böyle bir şey oldu. Bence kadın yaptı. Her iddiasına girerim, kadın yaptı. Babasına bunu yapmış olamaz ya. Aynen öyle. Ben size söyleyeyim. Bakın bölümü çıkacak.
But Holmes, how can you be certain?
Şöyle söyleyeyim, başlık olarak başka bir isim koyacağım. Burada bu davadan büyük bir ihtimal bitiyor. Zaten bitiyor. Ondan sonra bir sonraki davaya geçeceğiz.
Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
Ne şeytan kadınsın sen ya.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over? Perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop! I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot.
Sakin ol, sakin ol. Yapma. Kendini deleyecek. Hadi batsın. Karaktersizi görüyor musunuz?
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Bunlar kafayı yemiş ya. Bak. Dedim ben size. Bak %92 aynı yoldan çözülmüş. Ve başlığımızın adı yarım ay yürüyüşünden devam ediyoruz.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have. Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything?
Bir dakika arkadaşlar. Gammayı çok açmışım. Evet, biraz kısayım. Şu an daha iyi. Bundan dolayı bir pikselleşme, bir kırılma oluyor.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner.
Kim davet etmiş?
Menu, entree, Frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes, it's my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him.
Abi sanmıyorum ya. Böyle bir çocuğun abisi.
We have to help him.
And forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Şimdi bir polis karakoluna doğru gidelim. Şimdi gereksiz yere iyi insanı niye döversin?
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Hep böyle bir şey araştırmadım, bir şey yapmadım, direkt
A few personal
tutukluyorsunuz.
Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Ah, pardon. Burası değil.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught
Bir
by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. It seems as 2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Şimdi.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Evet, bir arkadaşla bir alalım, bir konuşalım bir.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton.
Abisine
I've come
benziyor.
here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Hiç görmemiş ki. Şöyle anlatır mısın
Tell me your
bana?
account of what happened.
Olay nasıl?
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky.
Evet, havaya fişek.
I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. he was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand though. I took it. And then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found
Bilmeden etmeden direkt yakalıyorlar ya.
I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Latham, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
Ne gördün? Nasıl bir silüetti? Nasıl
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
İlginç bir hikaye. Bu büyük bir ihtimal son vaka olabilir arkadaşlar. Sherlock Holmes'un da sonuna doğru geliyoruz. Cyberpunk bitti zaten. Finalde kanalda olacak, izleyebilirsiniz. Tamam. Sokakta büyümek, suç işlemek o şeyden dolayı. Hapishanenin Şimdi yarım ay sokağına doğru gidiyoruz. Burada bir kısa bir araştırma yapıyoruz ve sonra büyük bir ihtimal artık duruma göre devam ederiz etmeyiz. Yakın bir yerdeymiş zaten. Şemgük. Evet, olay mahalline geldik.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow.
Marrow.
I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one...
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances...
Aynen öyle. Yani bir şey bilmeden şey yapmayın. Sen olayı bir anlat bakalım. Kurbanlar kimlerdi?
Both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweler by trade.
Mücevher tüccarı.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. that was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention. Suddenly, I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Çözdünüz bunu. Öyle yakaladınız. Şey yaptınız, dövdünüz.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
Havai fişekler.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Gidip bakmamışlar bile.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me. This shard of wood is quite new. The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
Yani direkt kafadan vurulmuş. Bunun böyle bir şansı yok zaten de.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Öbür cesetimize doğru gidelim.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
Çok kötü.
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
Aynı çocukta da
Brian
vardı.
Vercotti and Leighton Chapman both have identical Westgate Prison tattoos. They were most likely acquainted. Brian Vercotti suffered greatly.
Aynen, acı
What a
çekerek.
terrible way to die.
Belli zaten. Kimse... Hemen bir çıkarım olmuş. Eli boş, kanlı pencere, 2 kurban ifadesi, 6 patları olmuyor. 2 kurbanla. Renk ifadesi karanlık 6 patlarla uyuşuyor bak. Çifte cinayet. Kenneth Butler ve Brian Vercotti tek kişi tarafından işlenen çifte cinayetin kurbanlarıdır. Kurbanlı 6 patlar, Bunun hiçbiri uyuşmuyor.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Bir soralım.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
Bert Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow
Anlatabilir
replying
misiniz
to
bana?
you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Ne duyduğunuzu anlatabilir misiniz?
When the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Were the two shots you heard
Peş peşe miydi o atışlar?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
Başka kimse var mıydı?
Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return. So I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
Bir ifadesine bir kişiliğine bakalım. Canım. Kırım Savaşı'ndan bir asker. Kayıp düğme. Zayıf ayak, toparlamak. Ha, bu baston kullanıyor.
You have helped us a great.
Acaba o bastondaki tahta bunun ayağındaki şey olmasın? Çelişkili ifadeler. Farklı atışlar 50 boş, 2 kurban, 6 patlar. Bu kırmızı oluyor. Bu böyle olduğu zaman ne oluyor? 2 kurban. Bunlar eşleşmiyor zaten. Evet. Bu bölümlükte bu kadar arkadaşlar. Tekrardan öbür ifadeleri alıp bakalım neler olacak, neler bitecek göreceğiz merakla. Eğer merak ediyorsan beğenmeyi, abone olmayı, zilleri açmayı, paylaşmayı ve yorum yapmayı unutmuyoruz lütfen.